Hello and welcome to the VR Untethered podcast associated with the MVR Discord. How's that?
That was a very good cover. I liked it. It was good. Now you don't have to cut this part.
Yeah. So, your weekly source of everything that is weekly.
Weekly.
Yes. We're not a monthly source. We're only a weekly source. So
sometimes bi-weekly.
If you want to stock up for the month, you're out of luck here.
So. Yeah, no binge watching here,
man. So anyways, we are going to start as usual with our highlights, commenting on the new releases and the upcoming titles and news and all that good stuff. So stay tuned, hit that like button with the heaviest hammer that you have, and let your friends know about this.
Please. Yeah, wait.
But be careful not to break your keyboard when you smash that like button, because then you can't let your friends know about us.
You should have told them that before they broke their keyboard.
True.
The warning comes before the spell. Didn't you see Doctor Strange? The
No.
warning should come before the spell.
It always comes after the spell. Don't you know that?
Well, yeah, I found out. It's not good.
So, what are your highlights of the week, Brad?
Well, I wasn't around for last week's podcast, so one of my highlights was actually Lies Beneath, which I have to say I have a very mixed reaction to. I'm not as enthused as some people seem to be. I'm enjoying it. Mm-hmm. I do like at the beginning, the comic book style of taking you into the different chapters. Right. I'm not thrilled with the close-up comic book stuff. That breaks the immersion for me a little bit. You know, it's like when you get the squishy sound of an organ, but it's an obviously cartoony. It's fine at a distance. It's fine in a fight. It's not so great when it's an object laying next to you. That's my biggest problem with that. So I found that to be a bit of an immersion breaker. And
my biggest is that you heal your injuries by eating raw steak.
Yeah, I know. That's interesting considering you have to sit by a fire but eat your steak raw. It's kind of like an intriguing thing. And the other thing that was interesting was my first playthrough. As I got to the first campfire, there were obviously things that were sitting on the box. But rather than going to the box and taking them off the crate, I went to the little blurb that said light the fire. And as soon as I lit the fire, the items on top of the crate disappeared.
Okay.
So it was like, that shouldn't happen. You know, if you want me to do one before the other, especially on my first playthrough, at the very first time, I have to, you know, at that point, the hint.
Well, yeah, and it is a game that's not for everyone, just like every game is not for everyone.
Oh, of course.
You know, some people have panned the game a little bit, saying that is basically they're saying too derivative and not innovative enough, and well, they have a point on that. It's not the world's most innovative game. Comic book style has been done before. The zombies have been done before. Using shotguns has been done before. You know, but at the same time, when you look at Half-Life Alyx, almost all the mechanics in that have been done before also.
Oh, of course.
It's all about how it is put together, and Half-Life Alyx was put together very well. This is put together well, but not necessarily award-winning well.
Right. That's what I would have to say. Its pricing was a little high. I expected a bit more premium from it. I'm enjoying it, don't get me wrong. It's just I'm not engrossed to the point of being able to block out those immersion breaking features. I think they need to do another patch or
something. Now, according to Mikael, I believe. I'm not sure where he got the information from. He probably read it or remembered it from uh, talking with other people about it or whatever. But apparently, the devs were originally going to have more of a stealth aspect to it,
Hmm.
but then they decided to focus on the action aspect, which makes it, in my opinion, less of a scary game and more just an action game. Which is nothing wrong with that. It's just
Right.
it makes it not a very scary game because what makes what what makes Dread Halls so scary, what makes Five Nights at Freddy's so scary for a lot of people, um, you have no agency. All you can do is hide and avoid.
Right.
The Dead Secret games, you could not fight back when the bad guy was hunting for you. All you could do was find a spot to hide. Okay?
Right. I mean,
So
so I understand. I mean, I do understand that, but this game was obviously not designed for hiding,
well,
and
no, but originally they'd wanted it to have stealth aspects and action aspects. Um, and there are some of the stealth aspects in there. I don't know if you've gotten to this point yet, but um, at some point in the game, there are enemies that you can sneak up on. And if you manage to sneak up on an enemy, you do like twice as much damage to hit it.
okay.
So, uh, um, actually, there's one scene early on where you're walking across on the ice, and then for the first time, one of the bats comes at you, right?
Hmm.
The first zombie enemy that's behind the rock, right when you start walking out on that ice,
Right.
you can actually sneak up on that zombie enemy.
Huh.
So,
Okay.
and
I,
then if you get it from behind, you get an achievement, and it's a one hit, and they're out.
cool.
So,
Okay.
but
So,
those moments are few and far between. So,
well,
much
in all
more.
fairness, it did
So,
take a while for them to get Eastfire to the point that the stealth aspect was where they originally wanted it
right.
as well. And it still
Right.
usually turns into a run and gun. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
I believe it.
um, let's see. Although not as much as it used to. I mean, early
Right.
on, there was just no way to not run it. As soon as you were in the room, you knew at some point death was following you.
Right.
There was no sneaking from room to room.
Yes.
Um, so, okay, Lies Beneath, we talked about, and I'm sure I'll have more to say as I get further on into it.
Oh
But
yeah.
like I said, there's some of, I mean, I love Robot Recall. I mean, to be really honest, these are the same guys. And I think that Robo Recall is still a great game, to be
Right.
very honest with you. And this one, I don't know if it really lives up to Robo Recall. I have to see. I'm going to have to play a little more.
Right. Well, um, I was gonna say you can see elements of Robo Recall in this one. The little circles that appear on the interaction stuff, and how you can grab if the enemies have certain points and to pull stuff out and whatnot.
Right.
So it's got elements of it. So you can should tell that they including some of the same stuff, drawing upon what they've already done, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, that's exactly play your strength, especially at this point in VR. As we were talking, playing your strength is a good idea. Um, so yeah, I guess there's no way that they're going to be able to redo the things that are annoying me. So I just have to get used to those and, sort of push through that. Because the audio is fantastic. The audio is great, and it does make up for some of the graphical dilly-dallying that they do.
Have you made it to Chapter 5 yet?
I'm just approaching Chapter 5, so no.
Okay. That's a hard part.
Oh yeah, I keep reading in different parts where people are just stuck for. Oh yeah, you were stuck in Chapter 5 for a while, weren't you?
Yeah.
I think everybody was.
Yeah.
I think Siba was stuck there too.
And then I watch Gamertag VR, who cannot do stealth to save his life, and he gets through Chapter 5 in like 3 tries. I'm like,
yeah, I know. And that's the thing, is there are some games that I pick up and I'll play them, and the very first time I play them, I do much better than the 5th time. It's like just that beginner's luck type thing, because you have no anticipation and you're just in the flow right away.
Right.
And then once you figure it out, you're not in the flow anymore, because now you figured it out. You're trying to play the game, so completely different. I've had that happen to me too.
In my case, I was almost at the end of Chapter 5 a couple times, and I didn't realize it.
Oh, like in Moss.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
they should give you power bars or something so that you know when you're close to the end of something.
Maybe.
Something.
Right.
Especially in a game like that.
Right.
So right at the end of the tunnel,
Yeah. So, did you have any other games or titles that just stood out to you?
Okay. Well, Ironlights, obviously.
Oh, well. We'll be talking about that more in a little bit, but yeah.
Okay, so I figured that was going to be a highlight for several people. So when you want to get into a further discussion, that was the other highlight, I guess. The other thing was just having the time to go back into my library when I realized I only have like 6 gigs left on my 128 gig quest. That
I've got about 20.
Do you really? Have you been? But you uninstall some games as you go along.
Not very many. I think I have not gotten all the games that you have. So I've gotten a few fewer games. So
yeah, I've collected some. I realized I still have Fisherman's Tale that I never opened. It's still unopened. Apex Construct, which I have not yet opened.
You need to play that one. That one's good.
I know.
It's really well done. Yeah, it's got some bugs, but it's really well done. It's a good game.
Right. At this point, I'm used to every game having some bugs. There's just.
Yeah, I mean, Half-Life Alyx had some bugs. I saw one person post about how he said something out of order and got stuck and had to restore from the last save point because he couldn't progress beyond because the game was relying on the next area opening up because of what he was trying to kill, slamming into the door and opening it, but he killed it before he could slam into the door and open it. So he couldn't move.
Yeah, that reminds me of the old Hitchhikers to the Galaxy guide game for the PC forever ago when you had to put the raincoat to catch the babblefish before it was coming out to the vending machine and hit the grate. And, oh my God. Yeah, the good old days. What are the games? And I picked up Time Stall while it was on sale.
Yeah.
They've been running some really pretty good sales. Yeah. And when they don't make me buy 2, one of which I always hate and one of which I do like, I enjoy those sales.
Or if they have a sale that has a dual pack and I've already got one, I'm like, it only works out to like $1 off of the other.
Exactly. that happens to me. Well, like you said, I've purchased probably too many games, but so I do have a lot, and I guess during this pandemic, shelter in place, stay at home, whatever your particular governor wants to call it. Really, what can you do better than jump into VR?
Right.
And go back and look at some of the older games that we just sort of eschewed on our way to like, ooh, what's new and shiny,
Right.
So, as I was mentioning before when we were talking about Ironlights, we were talking about the monk character and the way that he uses the staff, which reminded me of Ninja Legends, which I haven't played in forever, that I enjoyed.
Right.
So, different games bring you back to different games, and it's been a while.
Yeah. So, anyways, I was gonna move on to my highlights of the week now. I played, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 games this week so far.
I'm only seeing 7. What are the other 2?
So they're off the screen.
Okay.
Well, I took advantage of the Steam sale on No Man's Sky, and had played that for about an hour and a half yesterday. Or the day before, I forget which. It was our schedules are all messed up because of this now. It's like I stay up and schedule the next day sometimes. So.
I know. I see you talking at 2 in the morning, and that's usually when you used to wake up, so I'm not really sure what's going on.
Right. But I played for about an hour and a half, and even with the problem that I've got with Virtual Desktop, how it freezes and you get that the black border around it, and the picture stays in one spot and all that, and I've got to disconnect, reconnect. Even with that annoyance, it was still engaging enough to keep me going in it. I managed to get my ship repaired, and I flew to another spot where there's another crashed wreck to explore. I'm still on the starting planet, so.
Excellent. So you're enjoying it?
Yeah, but I can't play it right now because my dedicated router for the Quest is acting up, and it's saying that it has no internet, even though it is connected to the very same modem that I am using right now to connect to the internet.
Oh God, I have that happen. So, but not with the router. Yeah, sometimes I have to do just a hard reset. It's just crazy.
Well,
it really is.
I left it unplugged for like half an hour, and I plugged it back in, and it didn't make a difference. So.
Oh no, I find there's times.
I did a complete the power cycle, and I'm wondering if I need to figure out how to do a factory reset on it, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's a tough one. I really there should be enough people answering the phones now at customer support to.
Not necessarily, because might have a lot of people calling them, and half of their customer support staff is not there anymore.
Right. Well, as an aside, having to do with customer support, I know this past week I have probably wasted more than 6 to 8 hours a day waiting for calls back from different businesses that are supposedly essential, but not essential enough to actually answer your phone call or get done what they're doing that's essential. So,
I
found that very.
Yeah. Sorry. So, anyways, another game that I checked out this week, just yesterday, is a side quest game. Excuse me. That's more of a proof of concept demo called Turbo Kites, and it's basically pod racing.
Oh, cool.
So.
That's very cool.
You're in a deserty, canyon-y environment, and there's a course laid out for you to go and loop around. And there are two routes through the course. One is where you have to do a big jump, and the other is just you're navigating in between arches and doing sharp turns and whatnot. And it goes at like Mach 10 and and the steering scheme takes a little getting used to. You control each of the thrusters with the trigger button on the appropriate controller. Okay. So the right trigger, obviously, the right thruster, left to the left. And if you want to turn left, you pull back with the left hand and you push forward with your right hand, and the bigger the distance in between, the sharper the turn. And if you want to get a really sharp turn, let go of the thruster on the hand that is in back. So if I want to turn right really sharp, just pull like this and let go of the thruster. So just like if you're skiing and you want to do a really sharp turn, plant the one rod on the ground so it's not moving and whip you around, right? That's the same idea. So
okay, right.
So
centrifugal force is your friend,
right? And I got my time down to 19 seconds. Well, 19.14 seconds.
I'm not familiar with the course, so I have no idea. But you seem pleased with yourself.
I started out taking like 33, 35 seconds.
Oh, wow, that's great.
While I was learning the controls and whatnot. I think other people might have gotten like 17 or 18, but I'm not sure. But it's pretty fun. It's just a proof of concept at this point, and it's a little bit buggy because I came up with a shortcut by jumping over the hills, instead of turning and then doing the navigating, then coming back around that way. I just came and jumped over the hill and then went to the finish line that way.
Well, Anakin did that.
It did not stop the timer. So
yeah, well,
it didn't count.
Anakin did the same move in the movie. When he beat Siba, he jumped over the.
So, but yeah, it's a fun, cool proof of the concept game. Right. And another game that I played this week, well, among the 9 or so that I played, most of the others are my usual, Synth Riders, Lies Beneath, Gravity's Cache. I went back to Dash World briefly because they've had a lot of updates. Right. But I also I had gotten a key for Technolust on Steam, so I had been playing that a little bit earlier in the week, and I managed to escape my apartment before the police drones blew it up. So
excellent. That's good to see that you're healthy.
Always good.
As long as you're healthy, it's all
being blown up. So it's an earlier game, and there are some design choices in it that aren't really the best design choices, but it's a cool cyberpunk atmosphere game and all that. This is the same guy who has been working on what's the name of it? I forget. Low something.
Low.
Another cyberpunk open world type of game that is working on.
Lo-fi.
Yes. There you go. Lo-fi.
That wasn't a guess. That was an educated answer.
Yes, but the same developer as that. This is his
Oh.
first game. So.
Oh, okay. Well, Lo-Fi looks really cool. So
Yeah.
he must have learned a lot since the first game. It sounds like.
I think so. He has just some areas in this that are very heavy on the bloom.
Okay. Well, it's an interesting effect.
Yeah. So, and now moving on to the new releases, let's talk about Hooplord on Steam.
Huh? Let's talk about Star-Lord on Guardians of the Galaxy.
No. Obviously, there is Ironlights. But there's also a very weird game that I thought should be mentioned, just because it is very weird. It's called Hooplord, and it just came out this week on Steam, and it's already on sale, 30% off. So it's only $4.89. And about this game, Hooplord is a labor of love that combines boss battles and basketball into a hybrid VR experience that's unlike anything you've ever seen or played before. Inside of an enchanted forest, you'll find yourself on an ancient basketball court in the midst of a forbidden ruin. The basketball gods look down on you, a mere Hooplord, and extend their sacred challenge. Face the elemental tempters in a series of fatal one-on-one duels, a clash between their impregnable defenses versus your godlike offense. Glory should you defeat all three guardians and manage to evade death in the process.
Uh-huh.
So it has a combination of like shooting hoops in a like horse type of thing, you're not just dribbling or doing layups, just standing in one spot and shooting, it looks like. But it sounds really kind of bizarre. So.
It does sound bizarre, I have to admit. I have never envisioned that in my entire... I couldn't eat enough mushrooms to envision that one, man. That's too much, gotta tell you. Well, that's the beauty of VR. You could do things that would never happen in reality. So.
Yep. Yeah, including things that you'd never want to happen in reality sometimes too.
Oh God! Well, it sounds like you basically have King Arthur's basketball court set up in Merlin's ninth ring of hell. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. So, anyways, moving on to the actual new release for Quest of the Week, Ironlights. It's a horrible game. Nobody should ever play it. Okay, right. Moving on. No.
Next.
No. We at the MVR Discord had a tournament in it today, so we've all gotten to play it and get a reasonably good feel for it. And I still have a little bit of mixed feelings about it, and I think you do too, right, Brad?
I do, yes.
Yeah. It's a very good game. It's a very good concept, but it's very difficult to learn how to slow yourself down because of the 30% speed when you're in the melee battle. As we were discussing earlier, your hands in real life are going like that, but your hand goes like that, and your virtual hand is doing that at the same time your real hand that's coming back around already, and then
right, like we were saying, only 1/3 of it runs at like 30% when you're in your melee, so right. Only 1/3 of what you're doing if you're moving at real speed, 1/3 of what you're doing is happening.
Right, so it always feels like your controllers are lagging behind you,
right?
Which they are, but yes. That's by design. And I can understand the reasoning behind it, because one, it allows for more precision, and that's just waving a sword around randomly, and it allows for both clients, you and your opponent's quest, to be on exactly the same page about what is going on in the game. Because a big problem with wands that they had to figure out how to deal with is, and I'm using wands as an example because it's another first-person combat game, and it deals with the exact same issue, which has network latency. There's always a little bit, no matter how good your network is. And as an example, in wands, all too often, you will fire a meteor at your opponent, and it will seem to hit, but you won't see a red damage flash on them. Because from their perspective, they brought up their shield right before it hit, and it bounced off of their shield and went back to you, but it didn't hit you. Because different things are happening. That they brought it back up. A split second out, Theo. I'm doing a podcast. They brought the shield up a split second before the meteor hit. The other person's client didn't see it because it was just it was like about that long.
Right.
So it didn't register. And so how they should deal with it is it doesn't actually reflect backwards for the other person. So it's just a block. But so back to Ironlights, that would cause a problem with an up-close melee battle because I hit you, you think you blocked, I think I hit you. Who's right?
Right. Well, look, we had this problem when we were playing Swords of Gargantua,
right,
when I had a sword and you saw it in one spot and I saw it in a different spot.
Right.
So, yes, so you're right. In that account, this is much better. However,
if it's going that slow, it can't have that to discrepancy. So that's a valid technical reason for it.
Right, but you have to, it's not a valid or it's not a normal thing for your human brain to react that way. So you, in turn, have to become abnormal in order to play this game correctly.
You have to pretend you are doing a slow motion version of a fight. Or you have to pretend you are doing Tai Chi, the slow version of it. You know, slow movement Tai Chi.
Very similar, right? The molasses
there's also
version.
A fast form of it, which is somewhat like that. But you know, but yeah, you have to match the speed of your controller. Otherwise, it's gonna feel off and it's gonna end up throwing you.
Right. Plus the fact that it has 6 classes, is it? I think it's 6 or 7 or
what?
The amount of classes.
Let's see. Knight, Duelist, Monk, Ninja, Crusader.
Duelist. 6.
Yeah, I think 6.
I think 6. And it's nice because they do give you different ways to play. And obviously each opponent is going to play differently against you.
Right.
So that's really our goal, I think, at this point, is to see who matches up best against which character, aside from your play.
Right, because each of the weapons have their own characteristics and their own strengths and weaknesses. And I think overall they're pretty well balanced. I mean, there's a few issues still, I think, but for the most part, they are pretty well balanced. And I think a good ninja going up against a middling Crusader will beat the Crusader like 8 to 9 times out of 10. But a good Crusader going up against a middling ninja will beat a middling ninja about 8 or 9 times out of 10.
Right.
And everyone's going to have their own playing styles and their own moves and whatnot. So some people might just swing the flail around the head. I mean, like in the live stream, our tournament earlier, I was watching Mr. Z just repeatedly hit in one spot with the flail, whereas Mikael would migrate around so that it hit on the shoulder, on the side, down on the leg, and then on the other side, shoulder, side, leg, and he'd keep changing where it went.
Well, that takes a lot more finesse and practice with that
Yeah.
running star.
And some people, when they have the ninja, which is a dual wielding
short sword
guitars,
right.
Which is a short sword that's like a push dagger style.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them might just go and repeatedly make short jabbing or stabbing motions, trusting that that's going to get them the most the damage in the least amount of time. Other people, like me, should do it more like a double stick method,
Right.
and making figure eight with them.
Yes, if you're more comfortable with martial arts, then the monk and the ninja are ones that you'll be comfortable with.
Yeah. However, the monk has some issues, in my opinion, coming from a martial arts background and coming from a person whose favorite weapon is the staff.
Which definitely makes you the authority here today.
Well, a little bit more of an authority than the developer who doesn't have a martial arts background. But
he didn't as much, though, to his credit.
The number one issue I've got with it is the cosmetics, I admit, of the grip. It's got you with both palms down if you're holding it horizontal in front of you, which works for holding it horizontally, but if you are doing moves like hitting it on the other person's head, it's much more awkward, and you gotta twist your body to bring your elbow up, and it's not very ergonomic, which is why in real martial arts you use a grip where your left hand or your non-dominant hand is palm down and your dominant hand is palm up if you're holding it horizontal in front of you. And that way, that gives you the most flexibility of where and how you want to hit. I can do just a jab like that, jab like that. I can come around, hit like that, bring it back up, side to side, really quickly, And if I want to, I can shorten my grip, and I can use it like a sword.
Right. Well, I was going to say that's very much like Ninja Legends does that. They give you a much better use of the staff in terms of actual martial arts type use than this does.
Right. And the other thing that I don't really like about the staff in this game is with a real staff, the part of it that is in between your hands is where you do most of your blocking with.
Of course.
I'm going to block by doing this to the left or that to the right, or coming up and and coming down, I'm blocking. I'm not going to block by trying to hit with the edge, which is how you have to do it in this game, because the middle is uh, transparent to the other person's weapon.
Yeah, I know, which is crazy because not only in martial arts, but even when you use a cudgel, it's the same thing. That middle portion is key to using it as a weapon, especially for blocking and defense.
Right. So, and like, in real life, if I were to be blocking with a staff weapon, hang on 1 second. I'll just pretend this is a staff, and I'm holding it like this, and I want to defend against something up here. Let me go like this or that, and I'm gonna have my hand
removed.
On the bottom end, open, and just on the bottom, supporting it so that the blade doesn't slice off my knuckles as it comes down. So I'm going to go like that, or I'm going to go like that, and so that I protect myself that way. But again, that part would just be a cosmetic, but I don't need to hit the other weapon to block it. I just need to have it in its path.
Exactly. So that's, and the other thing is, well, I don't know. I think also part of this is going to have to be getting more familiar with the game, since we really did just lay our hands on it. But there's the whole shattering of certain weapons.
That there's I can see why he did that, because there is no actual impact or stopping of your actual arm when you actually hit. So if in the game you see this, but in reality your hand keeps going, that causes a mismatch. I get that, but at the same time, if your hand's going like this in reality, but like this in the game, there's a mismatch.
You might not even see that your blade is missing at that point. You might not even know you have a shattered blade. So I much prefer the way they, in like, once again, Swords of Gargantua, they show you the damage to your blade, so you have an idea of what's coming at you, as opposed to
and not just a one hit. It's an over time.
Right. And also you should hear it shatter. There should be something.
Stop on the other weapons and whatnot, if I remember right. It doesn't just go through.
Right.
And personally, and again, being a martial artist, I have no problem remembering to simulate bouncing off of the other person when I hit. Go.
Right. Take into account the physics, even without the feedback.
Right. Because another example is with the flail. If the flail in real life hits a shield, it doesn't just shatter and then you keep going. It would to bounce off of it, or to bounce downward, or
and it could take out the other guy's
head. Or you use that momentum to go right back into another attack a lot faster than if you just bring it back around and do it that way again. So he's trying to get a quasi-realistic feel for it, and I applaud him for that, but it still falls a little short. It's better than just wiggling of the swords that you see in a lot of games.
Correct.
But I'm with you. I think Swords of Gargantua right now really does a little bit better job That's not
Yeah.
perfect either, but it feels a little bit better to me.
Right, it's a different experience, but it's
Yeah.
definitely more. But remember, it's so much better now than when Swords of Gargantua first came out. It
Right.
was nothing like what it is now. So,
Right.
and I love McNeil's other games. I mean,
Hmm.
but they've all been strategy games, which is interesting. So
Right.
he's designed
Well,
this to
he's
be a
trying
strategy game,
to treat this like a little bit of a strategy game too. I think
right?
by slowing it down,
And
and it's
turn-based.
not just fast twitch, it's turn-based strategy.
Right, with the slow down melee. So
Right.
yeah, he's giving you the opportunity to use strategy. You
Hmm.
just have to do it completely unnaturally to you in order to be able to perform the way he'd like you to.
Right.
So, but that being said, I will continue with this game because I
Well,
do
yeah,
like it. I think that
it's a good game, and it is fun enough. You just need to learn how to play it the, the way that it is, and
right.
not expect a perfectly balanced, realistic the battle simulator.
No, don't expect that, but you can expect to have fun
Yeah,
battling with your friends in the arena or with other people.
yeah,
And
and you can save the replay and share that various gifs or gifs if you prefer peanut butter out
mhm.
of it. And it's a fairly seamless and easy process to do that. I gave it a try and it works well. So
And it's a beautiful game.
yeah,
Graphically, it is one of the most beautiful games on the
yeah,
Quest, if not the most beautiful game, actually. And we
and
haven't even mentioned that.
he's gonna keep working on it too, and he's gonna keep making tweaks. He's got the option purchases included in there. He doesn't have any in-app purchases yet, but that means that in the future he plans to, and whether it's going to be more cosmetic, whether it's going to be more weapons, I don't know, but you
Oh,
know,
there's plenty of cosmetics
yeah.
now. I think that right now it's cosmetically, they give you plenty of options to differentiate yourself from other players.
Well, in the future it will be cosmetically enhanced, even.
Oh, okay. I'm waiting for that. Cosmetically
So,
enhanced. I like
and
it.
speaking of cosmetically enhanced, let's move on to the news.
Okay.
Wasn't that a good segue?
No, I'm looking for it. I'm still trying to catch that segue. It's
It flew
over my
right over
head
your
now.
head.
Right over my head.
Um, Hollow Switch is an app in Steam that provides a cosmetic enhancement for your VR experience by letting you see your phone notifications while in VR.
Just,
Now
just
you
like
see
you
the
want.
segue.
Better. That was, I mean, yeah, I know what everybody has been dying for is to be able to have your phone interrupt you while you're in the middle of a VR game.
Well, yeah, I know what you mean, but I can see some value in it because it, back when the Gear VR was still a thing, which it still is kind of, but it's kind of a dead and almost buried thing
Mhm.
now. Um, I got a text message. It would show up as a notification in there, much like our so and so is available online or sent to a chat or whatever it does now. It's basically the same idea, but it would show your your text messages and whatnot, and that can be useful because it can be easy to lose track of time while in VR. So if I set a reminder phone
Mhm.
to remind me of an appointment or whatever, and I end up being in VR an hour before, and then I lose track of time, that I need to leave. Well, my phone, if it's off over here and not in my pocket, I, I'm not going to notice the notification. So
This is
in case
true.
like that. It could still be useful. They pointed out in the article that it could also still be useful as a less intrusive way for your family members to let you know that you need to move because you are blocking the TV from them, rather than tapping you on your shoulder while you are sneaking around in Lies Beneath or Dread Halls. Heart attack. So I can see some value to it.
No, I understand the value. I'm just saying, not something I think.
Yeah.
It's nice that they have it, and I guess it's always nice to have the option to have something. But that only works in Steam, I was reading, right?
Yeah. This is a Steam only thing. Has the Steam thing.
Right.
However, the underlying concept could work on Quest and Rift also, because we have Your Fit, which has an overlay. We have the built-in chat and notification stuff within the Oculus ecosystem that pops up a notification. There's no reason they couldn't have an option of link your phone.
Right. No, there is no reason, especially considering they're both Android. I mean, or, it's just an Android phone. It's crazy.
Right.
So, yes, they should be able to do that very easily, actually. Considering everything has to come through your phone anyway to your Quest. If you want to download, don't you, and buy it through your phone.
You can. You can also buy it off the website, or you can buy it within the Quest itself.
Right, but in order for you to cast, you need to cast to your phone, to cast to your Chromecast.
You can also cast to your computer if you have something like Air Server, which turns your browser into a castable device. Or if you have a Chromecast hooked up to your TV, you can cast to that and no phone needed.
Okay, but I'm just saying that a lot of people can only cast to their phone, so obviously there's a strong enough connection between the phone and the Quest.
That's using the app, yes. And everyone who has a Quest also has the app on to the phone, so that's kind of a guaranteed way of being able to, yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And moving on, Transpose is free to keep if you get it this weekend on Steam. And in an effort to make that not outdated news by the time this comes out, I'm going to do my best to actually get this uploaded on Sunday before the weekend's over.
Okay, so then more would be
so Transpose is a playing with time puzzle game.
And yourself.
What?
Time and yourself.
Well, yeah. In order to solve the puzzles, you have to do one part of the puzzle, and then that unlocks. Well, it's kind of like in the Under Presents, the one intro puzzle where you are going through a door, and then there's a room full of doors, and you have to find the right door to get through, and then get down onto the stage and whatnot. You have a limited amount of time, and then you don't make it through, you are back at the beginning, but you are also back at the beginning with you, and so you can watch the pre-recorded you go through and do all the actions still, and that helps you figure it out, and it's actually key to get past this puzzle, because in the Under Presents, and it technically a spoiler, but it's been out long enough, so to get past the final part of that, you have to be turning a crank in order to have the projection of the MC character there and talking and telling you to come on down. But if you let go of it and try to go down, it stops playing. So you have to keep the cranking it until you reset and go back to the beginning and then get all the way there again. And then your recording is turning that crank, and now you can go down on to the bottom level.
Which is very much like Transpose, but the way I would have said it, for people who have never played the Under,
right,
would have been, imagine a set of stairs, and now you have to get a ball from the bottom through a door that's up at the top of the stairs. But you can't just walk up the stairs and put it through the ball. You need to have a U that's standing halfway up the stairs that you could throw the ball to. And that one has to be throwing the ball to the next U that you're going to have to place there. So you have to continually place the different U's doing different things to complete the puzzle. And I have played it before because it's not new. It's been out.
No, it's not new. It's just free to keep right now.
Right. So and I would recommend
you can download it and it's yours.
It's not a free weekend. It's a very interesting way to play it. It does open your mind up a lot. So I would recommend anybody that does use the PC VR or has Shadow or anything like that, grab it. It's interesting.
Yeah, I grabbed it. I just haven't had a chance to get to it yet, especially with my Shadow not working because of my issue with my router. I was having like packet loss out the wazoo with it. So I was trying to do Echo Arena with Mikael. I get in and it's just the frozen screen didn't even fully load, and I can hear the audio going. I'm like,
right. Right. Well, and that's the thing is I know you've had problems with your router for a while and virtual desktop.
Well, so this router I haven't had issues with until now. So virtual desktop is what I've been having issues with.
So, but I also know that a lot of people are going to be impacted by the amount of web usage and just the fact that the servers are overloaded to the point of ridiculousness.
Right, and that may be all that was going on. I don't know, but I'm having trouble getting back into my router now to change the settings, so I'll figure that out later. But anyways, in other news, because we are running long here, 11, I think, it's hard to tell because it doesn't show only the recording time up at I think it's the total call time as well. 11 table tennis is on track to the Quest version of it is on track to outsell the Rift version. Just like almost every other Rift title that has gone to the Quest.
Right, of course.
So that's the good news, and it's also good news that they are continuing to update it, and they've got more features and updates on the way. And it's proving to be a very popular game. I mean, who doesn't love a good game of ping pong, right? I play it all the time.
Right. Well, not all the time, but yes, occasionally. Especially if it's set in a medieval field and there are lords. I could be the net lord, and
you could be the pong lord.
Paddle lord, you take your pick. The other thing we didn't mention
the ping pong god coming down.
We also didn't mention that Beat Saber came out with their Beat Fit song this week.
That was the next item, actually.
Oh. I feel like the great
you want to talk about it? Go ahead.
It's okay. I just did. So on to next.
They came out with their first ever fitness-themed track called Fitbeat. And it's I don't have the Beat Saber. I haven't played it, but I've watched it. I've watched the videos of people doing it, and it looks like it's quite the workout. It's got you moving left and right and going down, and then moving left and right.
Yeah, a lot more walls than usual. Yeah.
However, the song itself uh, is good, is catchy, but at the same time, it's like Robots did a parody of all of the whatever slide songs. Move to the left now, y'all. Move to the right. One hop this time. Two hops this time. That was a robot going like down to right, down to left, up, down, left.
They should just put in Macarena and get it over with. We could all just do the Macarena. No, but at least they're still working on it. But then again, you do expect that now that Facebook, Oculus owns it, that Beat Saber would become even more popular and they'll do even more things.
Right. And yeah, and the last bit of the news is I read an article about 3 days ago that developers can now add overlay support for the universal menu, even though the universal menu itself has been rolled back due to bugs. But so they can add support on there now, and there's a document for how to do that. And it looks like it's pretty easy. So.
That was the only thing I didn't do when I got my update, was I did not update the universal menu because I somehow had a feeling that this was not going to be great. And I'm glad. I did the other updates, but not that one. It was no.
I never lost the new universal menu. I rebooted like 3 times, and I never lost it. Everyone else in the Discord did, but I never lost it.
I never installed it, and I guess I was waiting now to hear that it was working again. But it does say it was intermittent, that it was different regions and different.
Well,
people.
Yeah, it's like region based or whatever. But I'm like, okay, so some parts of the U.S. is working right, but other parts of the U.S. it's not working right. Huh?
When everything seems to be going so well these days anyway, how could something like that go wrong?
And speaking of playing with time, let's go back in time right now to a segment of the show that we missed. Upcoming titles.
Are they still upcoming, or did we run that long that they've come out and now we have to review them?
No, the Phantom Covert Ops is still upcoming with a date of June 25th, as far as we know. Hopefully that stays true and it comes out and it does not get delayed because of COVID-19 shutdowns and whatnot.
Oh, God. Are they going to call it Phantom COVID Ops? No.
I hope not.
Me too.
Another upcoming title that may not be on most people's radar is called Swarm. It's a game that I have been beta testing for a little bit, and they've given permission for us to talk about it, just not show videos of it yet.
Right.
It's Spider-Man meets Robo Recall meets Smashing the Battle.
I'm actually in the beta. I just haven't opened it yet.
It's pretty fun. It's very arcadey. It's kind of, well, it has done in the cel-shaded look that Robo Recall, Smashing the Battle, and those the kind of games have.
Mm-hmm.
And it has scores and a menu design that is very reminiscent of Smashing the Battle, which, if you're not familiar with it, is a game on the Rift and the Gear VR and possibly Steam as well. I don't know. That was a third-person view, controlling a girl going around beating the crap out of robots and whatnot because they were rebelling.
Bad robot.
It's just smash them up to kill them all sort of battle situation. This is kind of like that as well, except the movement mechanic is you have a grab gun in both hands. So you shoot a platform far above you, yank down, and you accelerate up towards it like you are Spider-Man. And you can swing, and if you hold on to it and you complete your swing at the height, you come back around, so going over it. And all the while, there are waves of enemies coming in that you shoot. There are some enemies that are weaker and they come in swarms. There are some enemies that are individual and they are stronger and they actually shoot at you, where the swarming ones just fly around. There are various weapon power-ups you can get. There's a boss that will shoot missiles at you, where you have to shoot the missiles, and you have to shoot at the weak points of the boss. The classic arcade stuff there.
And
huh?
And how did you enjoy the beta?
It was good. I think the difficulty of it ramps up a little bit too hard, too fast.
Mm-hmm.
But it is fun, and so far everyone who has been trying it out has been saying no motion sickness.
Wow.
Even though you're moving at high speeds and you are swinging,
That's what I know. As you were saying it, I was getting ready to get my airsick bag over here and figure, okay, this is not for me. So you said no motion sickness. It's like, really?
Well, that's what a lot of people are saying. I don't get motion sick to begin with, so I'm not a good judge.
For me, it's really weird because 99% of the time, I won't get motion sick. However, that 1% of the time is enough to really make you think twice before doing something. So, but I'll have to give it a shot because I did get in the beta.
Yeah,
so
and there are various modes too. There are time trials, annihilation modes, etc.
Cool.
There are various enemies. My least favorite enemy are the zombie bots, because you shoot them and they die, but they are still there. They don't blow up. They're just sitting there until another zombie bot comes along and begins repairing it. And now you have two again.
Oh, that's not good. But thank you for the warning. At least now I know to stop that other bot from teaming up with the first wounded bot.
There's another upcoming title that we just found out about. What was it, yesterday? Supernatural.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, it came with that.
Yeah, it's a subscription-based fitness title that is coming out supposedly April 23rd.
Right.
And it's going to have a discounted initial price of $20 a month. What the full price is, I don't know.
I cannot even begin to imagine the model that says that $20 a month is something that these people want to pay when you have so many great games that you can acquire.
And, I mean, from the video that I have seen on it, it honestly, it looks like a Beat Saber clone, except you have realistic environments around you, so that you're like at a fjord, or you're on a mountaintop, or you're by a river, or whatever, and is different the colors and shapes of the graphics and whatnot, but you're hitting things with what looks like machetes.
Mm-hmm.
So some of them you can just hit, some of them you have to hit in a certain direction.
What else?
So unless there is more to it than just that, I'm like, why not just spend $40 or $30 or $40 or whatever it is and get Beat Saber?
Beat Saber at $40. I think Beat Saber plus one of their packs, like Imagine Dragons or Green
Yeah.
Day, and you're fine. I mean, right?
Yeah.
And not only that, I bought Synth Riders when it was on sale a few weeks ago, and I just played that this past week. That was so much fun. I
Yeah.
had it. You know, some of these games just get lost as these other games come out, and like
Yeah.
Synth Riders was one of those that got rolled
Yeah.
over.
And speaking of synth writers, they hopped on the fitness bandwagon also, and every Sunday they are doing synth Sundays where they have workouts in the multiplayer rooms.
Oh,
You
cool.
know, so
Really, I mean that's and you know something I have to say that it was as much fun as Beat Saber, if not more, because it's different and it just gives you a lot more movement too. I think their walls are
yeah,
placed better.
yeah, yeah. I've noticed with a lot of the beat the saber maps, you don't have to move to avoid the wall; they just go right by you.
Right.
Which, okay, hi wall.
Exactly. You
Yeah,
know, it's like, what was that for? You know, is that supposed to
yeah,
distract me, or you know, did I
right,
move by an eighth of an inch or whatever? But
right.
yeah, you can't do the same thing in Synth Riders. You better play that, get out of the way, or you.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, it remains to be seen. I'm sure that it's just like most rhythm games, it'll be enjoyable, it'll be fun. I just don't know that it's worth a $20 a month subscription. On the other hand, what is good about this, that means subscriptions are going to the Oculus store. Right now, they don't do subscriptions.
yeah.
There is an app that has a subscription on Steam, but not an Oculus. It gives you access to more features. It's called Gravity Sketch.
Mm.
They are coming out with a collaboration feature that is in beta right now, but when it comes out, it'll be accessible via a subscription. But Oculus doesn't do subscription. But now they do. So that part is a little bit exciting and promising
Yeah,
because we can get the full Gravity Sketch experience.
which will be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And the last upcoming title I was going to talk about was Virtual Battlegrounds. Again, I mentioned that, and in a previous episode, I said it was coming out next week or this week or whatever. It turns out I was wrong. It has a release date of April 15th, and the early access alpha, if you could get a key, I guess, has been going on. It's a Steam-based game, and it's a VR battle royale game. I don't know that it really has any truly unique features to really stand out in the way that it looks like the Population 1 is supposed to,
Mhm.
but it's a battle royale game, which is always a popular genre, and it's in VR.
I was going to say
So
that's what's missing from VR
yeah,
right now, so
right,
that would be great.
right. So that is promising that it is coming out on April 15th. I don't know what the final price of it is yet. That hasn't been revealed, I don't think, yet. But yeah, if you get it this next week, let us know and let us know how you like it.
Yeah,
There
please do.
has a comment section down there that you can use a keyboard and type in. So, uh, and I think that basically covers everything that we were going to talk about. So, have a great day. No.
Uh, Everybody, stay safe, stay
Yep.
healthy, stay in VR,
Yeah.
and we'll see you next week, or maybe in the middle of the week, depending on how stir crazy we get.
Or maybe we'll look out our window and we will see you because you are stalking us. I hope not,
Wow,
but
me
you never
neither.
know.
If you see one of them, just get that pole out and just.
Yeah, forget about the pole. I'll just get my sword.
I thought you were going to throw your cat at them when you
No.
collected.
So, all right. Have fun. Have a good weekend. Remember, like, subscribe, tie your friends to their chairs until they also subscribe.
Perfect.
Bye.
Out.